Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Adriann White at the Community Arts Center in Westmont. We are having a break for classes right now, and so we're reaching out to offer you the opportunity to do yoga in the comfort of your home. Sometimes it's nice to stay home. We have some winter weather outside, a little cold, a little snowy, not necessarily always the best road conditions. And so it's important, and part of our yoga practice teaches us, adapt to the changes that occur in our lives. One of the big changes right now is COVID pandemic and its restrictions, and any additional restrictions due to weather. So we're going to adapt our practice and hope that we can help you adapt with comfort and ease and joy. So let's start just by getting comfortable. I have my yoga mat, I have 2 blocks, and I have a strap handy. If you use props at home, please, you are welcome to have yours with you. If you don't have blocks, good solid thick books are also, or a big 32-ounce juice can is a good sturdy prop to help it make it easier for you to bring the floor up to wherever your hands happen to be. So today, let's just start by doing what winter weather invites us to do. And that is to slow down and to come inwards. When it's cold out, we naturally want to come indoors where it's warm and it's comfy. Even though it's Christmas season, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of busyness, a lot of frantic energy. So let's come inwards. So let's start by just closing our eyes. One of the beauties of letting our eyelids drift closed is it helps us shut out the distractions of the world outside of us. When our brain doesn't have to do the work of processing all of the visual images that our eyes see. It frees up our brain. It frees up our thoughts. It frees up our energy. And instead, we can focus on what we hear. We can focus on what we feel. Instead of being distracted by the activities and the events of the world outside of us, when we close our eyes, we can focus on ourselves and on what's within us. So let's start by focusing on our breath. As we breathe in, can you feel the air passing through your nostrils, up into the sinuses? Can you feel that breath passing down through your throat and into your chest? As you exhale, feel the reverse. Feel the air flowing out of your chest and up through your throat. And then it's up to you. Do you want to exhale through the nostrils or through slightly parted lips? You do whatever is comfortable for you. As long as we breathe in through the nose so that our sinuses can warm and moisturize the air, making it easier for our lungs to utilize that oxygen. So slow, full breaths in that fill our lungs totally from the bottom through the middle, all the way out to the top. And then long, slow exhales, maybe even audible exhales, like a sigh. And let that slow breath out. Help you gradually breathe away the hustle and the bustle of your days. Let those slow, complete breaths in begin to refresh and recharge you with that oxygen that you are drawing in. Breathing out, we release and we let go of what we no longer need. And we breathe into us the energy and the peacefulness that surrounds us in our yoga setting. as we continue with our long, slow breaths, let's go ahead and do a tension reliever stretch. So if you're not already laying in corpse pose, let's go ahead and do that. And as we let our bodies relax flat to the mat, our feet get to turn out, our arms relax by our sides, the back of our head rests to the floor. As we breathe in, we'll extend our fingers and our arms to stretch to the wall beyond our head. On the breath out, bend at the ankles to flex your feet, pushing your heels to the wall beyond your feet. And we remind ourselves that we hold our yoga poses while our breath still flows. So fingertips reach to one wall, heels reach to the other, as breath continues to flow in and flow out. Feel the effort that it takes to do this stretch, to maintain the constant reaching. And when you're ready, on a breath out, we'll exhale the arms back by our sides. We let our feet tip out. We sigh and we release all effort. We'll add some stretches for the back of our body next. So as we do a breath in, let's lift our right flexed heel up to the ceiling. Little stretch for the back of the legs. On our breath out, we use one hand behind the knee, one hand behind the head to bring bent knee and forehead towards each other. As we support the head, we inhale, flexed heel back up to the ceiling. And on the breath out, everything drifts back down. And we settle to the ground. We'll repeat with left side. Inhaling, flex left heel up to the ceiling. On the breath out, hand brings forehead and knees close to each other as we can. Feel the lengthening in the back of the body. And as you inhale that left heel back up, notice how much more you stretch. And on the breath out, release all effort and drift back and down to your resting position. So lots of stretches from the base of the skull to the heels. Let's do one more time. Inhaling with flexed right heel. Exhaling to bring forehead and knee as close together as we can. We'll inhale to lift the heel back. And we'll exhale to drift back down. Release, let go. And repeating with left side. Inhale, flexed heel. Exhale, use your abdominal muscles if you want a little bit more core strength. And breathing in again. Add more stretch and length. And exhale to gently melt back into a puddle on your mat, like the snowflakes melt on the warm ground. On our next breath out, we'll bend the knees, putting both feet flat to the floor. We'll continue stretching and lengthening the lower back as we add a little strength to our abdominal and our quadricep muscles by doing exhale pose. So you can have your arms by your sides, palms down. We'll start our breath in while our feet are to the floor. On the breath out, those abdominals and quads, pull the thighs up into the belly. Feel your lower back stretching. And now inhale, use those abdominals and quads to slowly return your feet to the floor, feeling your lower back arching. And we repeat. Exhale, pulling knees up into the chest. Squeeze your belly button to your backbone and feel your lower back stretch. Inhale, feel abdominals lengthening and a lower back arching as feet come down. We'll do two more. Exhale. Pulling in, pressing small of the back to the mat. Inhaling to feel abdominals lengthening as lower back arches away. And one more time. Exhale. This time, let's do our breath in while we're here. We'll open our arms out to shoulder height, and we'll do some spinal twists. We'll do a breath in. As you exhale, you can press the back of your left hand into the floor and gently roll those legs towards your left side. Pressing the hand into the floor helps support your lower back as we drift those legs down. Notice we're trying to keep our knees as close to our elbow as our bodies permit us to do. And while our right arm is trying to stay down towards the ground, if possible, so that shoulders stay level, we're trying to stack our right hip above our left. Will your neck allow you to turn your head opposite your knees so that you look to your right hand, checking to align right thumb with point of right shoulder. And now just relax here. You've done the hard work by getting into the pose. And now just breathe and feel the stretch and the twist through the waist and the spine. Feel the stretch in the ribs and the chest, in the front of the shoulders, and in the neck. When you're ready to come out, we'll start with the breath in. Again, if you would like, press back of the left hand into the floor as you use your transverse abdominal muscles to roll you back to center in knee to chest pose. While we're relaxing here and observing the difference between left and right halves of our bodies, let's go ahead and do some circles. The ankle joints create the movement so that our feet can draw great big round circles in the air. If both feet go the same direction, it makes it easier to tell. Does one ankle move more fully or freely than the other? And then we'll reverse the direction of those circles. Noticing if changing the direction changes our ankle's ability to move fully and freely. When you're ready, feet come to rest. We'll do our breath in, and now we'll reverse our spinal twist. So if you would like, use the press of your right arm and hand into the floor to help carefully control the descent as you roll to your right side, trying to bring those knees up towards the elbows and turning your head to look, making sure your left thumb aligns with point of shoulder. We don't want the hand up by the ear or the forehead, rather in line with the shoulder. If you find it's uncomfortable for the shoulder, feel free to bend the elbow or even bring your arm in. Do what is safe for your body today. And again, just allow yourself now to sigh. You've done the effort of getting into the twist. Now just relax. Allow the stretch to happen with each and every exhale of your breath. Notice, does your body turn more easily to this direction than to the first? We'll come back to center. So again, we move on the exhale. So we start with our inhale. And as we exhale, if you need, push with right arm to help bring the knees back to the chest. This time, let's bring our arms by our sides, palms down. Now we'll keep our elbows to the floor as hands hold our thighs. We're wedging the legs together so that they cannot rock side to side. Toes and ankles are effortless. From the knee joints now the movement occurs so that the lower half of our legs get to inhale across the top of the circle. Exhale around the bottom. Breathing in and out. Going to the sides and to the top. To the sides and to the bottom. Our weight stays even and equal on the two sides of the back of our pelvis as we give our knee joints an opportunity to move without having to support any weight, without any pressure. When you get to the top, we'll exhale and reverse, going back the opposite direction. Again, noticing, does one knee move more fully or more freely than the other? And do we go better in one direction than the other? Remembering that in yoga there's no right or wrong. We are observing. We are noticing what's happening within so that we can be aware. Do we need to take a little more care of one part of our body than another? When you're ready, we'll let the legs come to rest. And now we'll lay our arms by our sides. Wedge your arms in against your hips so that it's tough to rock from side to side. We're going to use a little core strength here, keeping the abdominals engaged so that small of our back stays to the mat. Now toes, ankles, and knees are effortless. The upper leg bone, the femur, is going to move in the hip socket as we breathe in, taking the space between the thighs and the belly bigger. And as we breathe out, closing the space. Breathing in to open. Breathing out to close. Notice the strength that those abdominal muscles are using to help us keep the small of our back to the mat. We'll continue with one final circle. Breathing in and out. And now we'll reverse, going the other direction. Feeling the length in the abdominals, feeling the strength. Notice how as you open up the space between thighs and belly, your lower back arches a bit. As you close the space between thighs and belly, your lower back lengthens and stretches. We'll finish with one more circle. And when you come back to center, let's go ahead and see if we can roll right on up to a sitting position, or come up in whatever way works for you. So we've done some things to widen front of chest and shoulders, to stretch down through the front of the body and to strengthen the abs and the quadriceps. We've done some side body stretches and some back. Let's do a little bit more side body stretch. And in keeping with our theme of moving slowly and deliberately today, let's go ahead and we'll do our Crescent Moon as a 4-part movement and coordinate it with our breath. So if you'd like, you can put your hands to the floor, or if your torso is longer than your arms, feel free to use your yoga blocks or your books, whatever it is you're using, to bring the floor up to wherever your hands are. And let's start with our left side. So we'll inhale to point left fingers up. On the breath out, squeeze bottom right rib into the right hip crest. You can lean into that right arm for support, feeling how it lengthens the left side even more. Breathe in and let the air fill the lungs. We float back up. And on the breath out, that left hand drifts back down, comes to rest. As we switch to the inhale, right arm floats back up. On the exhale, left rib squeezes into left hip. So left side is strong as right side is long. And then we inhale to float back up. And we exhale to gently drift back down. Let's do one more time. So as you're ready, we inhale. If you'd like, do this with your eyes closed. Feel the squeeze in the right side as you strengthen those oblique abdominals and lengthen left side. And then inhale to float back up. Effortlessly, like a leaf, drifting to the ground. Let that left hand come back down. And then we'll repeat with right. Inhaling to float up, like the clouds lifting across the sky. Exhale to squeeze. And just like the tree branches move with the breeze, our body moves with our breath. We inhale to float back up, and we exhale to drift back down. Take a moment and notice how you feel. Does one side of your body, whether it's your ribs or your waist, feel longer than the other? No right answer, just notice. And now we'll do some more stretches for the back of the legs. So we'll sit long ways on our mat. If you have a yoga strap or a necktie or a nice soft belt from a bathrobe, we use that, looping it around the balls of our feet. And we use our yoga strap so that we can sit up tall with good posture. When people try to reach for their toes, if they have long legs, oftentimes I see people hunching their shoulders and rounding their backs to try to reach for their toes. And this doesn't do anything to stretch the back of your legs. All it does is compress your chest, your lungs, your abdomen. Where if we use our yoga strap to lengthen our reach, we can still maintain beautiful posture of the spine. We can still have all that openness in the chest and in the torso to breathe fully and deeply. And now we can use the strength of our bicep muscles to help us gently pull ourselves forward. It's called a forward bend. And what that means is by bending at the hips, we bring our entire torso forward. Our heart center reaches towards our toes as our navel points down to our thighs. We can really enjoy the stretch in the heels and the calves. We can enjoy the stretch in the backs of the knees and in the backs of the thighs. So a seated forward bend or a seated forward fold. And just stay in the pose for a few breaths, allowing your body to adjust, breathing out the tension or the tightness that you may feel. When you're ready, we'll inhale to sit back up. Let's just let our strap lay to our floor. Now we will put our hands palms down underneath our shoulders, about hip width apart. Relax your feet. Feet can be hip width apart if you have them closer together. Please have your fingers pointing to your toes, because now we're going to lengthen the front of the body by doing upward facing or reverse plank. Push with the feet, the heels, squeeze, engage the glutes, and try to lift the hips up. You don't have to point the toes or flex, feet can be relaxed, but really push with the heels and the legs. Let them do the work of lifting you. Your thigh muscles are much bigger, much stronger than your arms. So let those bigger thigh and glute muscles support you. Remembering that we are still breathing. And are we amazed at how something that looks so very simple can be so challenging? We'll exhale. We'll allow ourselves to sit back down. And now we'll again stretch those muscles that we just strengthened with our seated forward bend. Inhaling to sit tall. Exhaling, remember, fold at the hips. Our body only bends at joints, and our spine is not a joint. So let that spine stay straight. Let your chest and your heart center stay open. So there's lots of room to breathe. No tension anywhere. We're breathing out the tightness. And if you can, on your next exhale, can you sink a little lower? And then just stay there. Slowly breathing. Noticing any new areas where you may feel your tension. And on our next breath out, let's sigh. Can we sink a little lower and maintain our good posture? And then as you're ready, inhale, come on back. We'll set our yoga strap aside. And one more time, we'll now strengthen what we just lengthened by doing our reverse plank. Okay, remember, calf muscles, hamstrings, glutes do the work. Please, please, for the safety of your wrist, point your fingers to your feet, or if this hurts your wrist, make a fist and put your knuckles down. Or if necessary, put your forearms on your yoga blocks to take any pressure off the wrists. Okay, so when you're ready, breath in, big exhale, push with those heels, and a lift. depending on your body. If you want the challenge, you can try to engage the glutes to see if you can start bringing the feet closer to the floor. But remember, you are working to your body's ability. And when you're ready, we'll exhale. We'll come on back down. And now let's come over to hands and knees. From hands and knees, we can do table pose. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the wrists. We just spent a lot of time with our wrist flexed, so now let's reverse. Let's see about taking our hands and placing the back of the hand to the mat so that your fingers point to you and your palms face up. This is a great big stretch in the back of the hand and in the forearms. For many people, this is very uncomfortable, so walk your hands closer to your heels. You can start shifting your weight back, almost as if you're sitting your hips towards your heels to make it more comfortable. Or you can go for any variation in between, based on what your body does safely. When you're ready, let's go ahead. We'll shake out the hands. It's challenging if you want to make your brain work a little bit. Let's shake our left hand side to side and our right hand up and down. And remember to have our breath flowing in and out, because exercise isn't just for the physical body. It's also good for the brain, the mental body. And now let's switch. Can we make right hand go side to side as left hand goes up and down? And are you still having your breath flowing in and out? Okay, let's get our yoga blocks. We'll bring them up to the head of our mat so that they're ready. Let's start in plank pose, shoulders above the wrist. We'll extend one leg and then the other. We did reverse plank earlier. Now this is our normal plank. Notice a nice straight line from the back of the head, down the spine, and to the heels. Wrists are under the shoulders. Now let's do a breath in. On your exhale, push your belly button up towards the ceiling, and then let your hands gently push back to start sinking your heels toward downward facing dog. And we can notice that while we did not change the placement of our hands or our feet, there's a huge difference in how we feel in downward dog compared to plank. When you're ready, we'll do a breath in. And on the exhale, let's return to our plank pose. Just holding the pose as we breathe. I find that if I pull my belly button up to my backbone, if I engage my glutes, which means squeeze your cheeks together, and if I push my hands against the mat like I'm trying to roll my heels back behind my toes, it helps me support my plank pose. Feel all the parts of the body that are working. Feel the parts that are stretching. And now notice what changes simply by doing a breath in. And on the exhale, pushing the navel up to the ceiling and shifting the hips back. We feel the lengthening in the heels and the calves, the lengthening in the spine. Relax your neck now. In fact, if you'd like, look between your ankles to the wall behind you. In day-to-day life, we're normally looking at what's happening in front of us. In down dog, we get to look back to us, or even what's behind us. When you're ready, however it works for you, we'll bring our left foot forward to a gentle runner's lunge. If that means bring the right knee down and use your hands to bring the left leg forward, that's acceptable. Please have your ankle directly under your knee. Your yoga blocks and your wrists are in line with that ankle, and we curl the back right toes under. Runner's lunge. Instead of looking down, instead of rounding your shoulders over the thigh, use a little strength in the arms. Look forward. The runner at a beginning of a race isn't looking to see if the shoelaces are tied. The runner at the beginning of the race is looking to the winning finish line. Let's see if we can do a spinal twist. So we'll keep our right hand to our block. And now we can inhale, point of left shoulder up to the ceiling. If your left shoulder permits, you can point that left hand up to the ceiling. And if your neck permits, look up. Breathe into that openness in the front of the chest. Let's exhale. Can we sink the right heel a bit more as we keep right knee extended? Can we check to make sure left knee remains above the ankle? A very introspective version of our pose. We're looking up past our fingertips to the ceiling, yet we are fully aware of everything that is happening within us, making sure that we are properly supporting our body. On the exhale, we'll come back down. When you're ready, walk or step the right foot up to meet the left. It can be several small steps to come to a standing forward bend. And we'll sweep up to an extended mountain. Remember, an extended mountain, your tailbone points down. Crown of head and fingertips point up. Yet instead of hunching the shoulders, relax them. When you're ready, we'll exhale. We'll bend the knees as needed to bring our hands back to our blocks. In fact, let's set our blocks aside. And now we'll walk our feet back into our plank pose. And on an exhale to our downward dog. A moment to catch your breath. And now we'll reverse. This time right foot comes forward. If you can do it in one big long step, you're welcome to do so. Again, ankle and knee align. Wrist and ankles align. And we use our blocks to help us open up the front of our body. Gently sink that left back heel. Do your outer rotation of the shoulders to open the front of the chest. And as we feel the length in our bodies, we'll add our spinal twist, our revolved lunge, inhaling right shoulder up to the ceiling. Notice, can you stack right shoulder above the left? And whether you bring your arm forward and up, whether you bring your arm out and up, or whether you bring your arm back and up, if shoulder permits, can we stack right hand, right shoulder, left hand? Can we look up? Can we breathe? Can we sink that right heel? Back left heel, sinking the left heel, keeping our right knee above our ankle, feeling the openness in the chest, the twisting in the waist. On the exhale, come on back down. Again, left foot will walk up to meet the right. One big step or several small ones. We'll inhale to our extended mountain. This time, let's create upward facing salute. So while tailbone points down, heart center, hairline lift. Hands can begin to reach back. If you'd like, turn the fingers and the palms back. This is not a tailbone going back move. This is a tailbone down as we lengthen the front of the body. Let's come back to center. Let's see if we can bring our hands down to our hearts in prayer pose. And we'll do a balance pose since we're standing right here by the tree. Let's see if we can do tree pose. Okay. So we can stand with our feet hip width apart. Relax your knees a little bit. Take the tension out of the knees. Let's see if we can take our weight to the right foot, turning left knee out to the side. Depending on your balance, left toes can stay to the floor. They can rest to your ankle, your calf, your knee. You can keep the hands at the heart in prayer pose, or like a tree, you can reach your branches up to the sky. If you would like, open fingers. It's winter time, and now we can enjoy the beautiful lacy silhouette that the tree branches make against the sky. When you're ready, you can exhale. Come on back down. Take a moment, relax in Tadasana, mountain pose. Notice any differences between left and right calves. Does the right calf feel like it's rock solid? Let's see if we can repeat our tree pose to the other side. So again, we can start with prayer pose, which means elbows are in line with the wrists. Our weight goes to our left foot now. You may find your focal point needs to change. And now we'll turn our right knee out. You can keep right big toe to the floor, to the ankle, the calf, the knee. Again, tailbone is pointed down. If you would like, breathe in and open the branches of your tree. If you find that you need to touch down, it's okay. This is a yoga practice, remember? Practice means that we're not perfect. And so we do what we need to do without recriminations to do the best that we can in any given moment. If you haven't already, let's come on in and down. Okay? However it works for you, let's come back down to the mat. We can have a seat. If you prefer, you can lay to your back. If you would like, you can gently do knee to chest pose, letting yourself roll back down. As we bring the knees up. I like my knees wider than the ribs so that I can breathe. You do what works for you. If you like to rock from side to side, gently massage the small of the back. Gently massage the space between the shoulder blades. And as you're ready, we'll come back to center. If you'd like, stretch and clench the toes. Maybe you want to do another circle of the feet and a circle of the wrists. And then we can reverse. I can hear my ankles doing little snap, crackle, pops. It's their way of saying, thank you. I needed that movement to let go of my stiffness. And then whenever you feel that you're ready, you can bring the feet down and the arms down. If you would like, you're welcome to drift back into corpse pose. And just let your eyelids drift closed. Notice how your body feels. Notice the feel and the flow of your breath. Are you still enjoying those slow, full inhales? And those slow, complete exhales. And for the span of the last 40 minutes, have you been able to shut out all of the chaos of the world outside of you and let yourself be the center of your attention? Has it given your mind a chance to be at rest? Has that given your emotions a chance to be at peace? Take a few moments, breathing slowly and fully, enjoying this calmness, enjoying this peacefulness that you have created by focusing within you, by slowing your breath, by moving with mindfulness of yourself. We cannot take care of anyone else if we neglect to take care of ourselves. As you feel you're ready, we can wiggle the toes and the fingers. And begin to move feet and ankles, hands and wrists. We can begin to rock the arms and the legs back and forth. And then as you're ready, we can gently roll to one side. Our eyes can drift open and we can push back up to center. And as we take a moment, collecting our energy, collecting our thoughts, notice, do you feel a whole lot better than you did when you first started? thank you so much for being here to do yoga with me, Adriann, at the Community Arts Center in Westmont. Thank you very much, everybody. Namaste.